it up, come on. Let's funk 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 it up, come on.
Walk in the club, head to the back. VIP, Louis, cognac. DJ booth like the 4th of July. Light show strobing, ladies look fly. I was on a mission, looking for the right one. Caught the eye of a girl like the bright sun. She had a look that I can't describe. Get down to the funk, it's time to get live.
Let's funk it up, come on. 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 Let's funk it up, come on.
Welcome back, everybody. We have a series and a half on our hands, don't we, here? Because we're going to game number 5 in our regional qualifiers between IG and FPX. And what a way to do it for IG as well. What a barn burner. And I'd given up on IG. I said it before that last game. I had completely lost faith, but they've turned things around.
Hysterics called it. The second you give up on IG, that's when they step up. That's
True.
when they come alive, and it's what we've seen here once again. But Invictus Gaming looked incredible in this game. The ability to just snowball off of these early leads, even when they were set behind from level 1.
That's the thing, right? It wasn't actually technically an early lead because FPX started things off strong. They went for this early invade, and we saw Tian got 2 levels up on Ning. Yeah. Ning was still level 1, denied entrance to his own jungle by Gimgoon on the Camille as well. I thought the game was over. I thought FPX had got the series on the dot there, but then Rookie just came out of the woodwork, didn't he?
That was the thing. This is where we were looking at the draft with so much scrutiny throughout the series, was giving over the TF, giving over the Galio to Doomby as well. Like, the ability for Galio to push these waves and stop Rookie having any sort of interaction with the side lanes really shut down the play from Invictus Gaming. This time around, though, you have that pushing lane in the Zoe. You force Rookie back underneath his turret as the Orianna. It's Rookie who gets out of lane, and he sets up Puff for success.
And I have to say, there was a little session there around the early stages of the game where Rookie, it didn't feel like he went back to mid lane for a little while. It felt like he was playing Nexus Blitz, honestly. He was just dashing around the map, throwing bubbles. But also, importantly, the bottom lane changed dramatically here. Now that we get to see Puff on the Ashe, now that we saw Senna on the other side for FPX, suddenly the bot diff is the other way around. Suddenly we've got Puff and Baolan dominating their lane.
And it's almost like having a push in bot lane is really helpful or something, you know? Why we go see so many people go towards blue side? But this is why we wanted IG on blue. Get the Ashe for yourself. Give a little bit of agency towards Puff and Baolan in that bot side. And especially Puff looking absolutely amazing on this Ashe with Baolan with those heat-seeking hooks on the thresh.
I mean, look at this scoreline. 10, 2, and 14. Great damage, great goal difference, obviously. I mean, you're always going to have a great goal difference at the end of a game like that, but phenomenal play coming out from Puff, and it's great to see him shining here after he's had a pretty rough last couple of weeks. Like, earlier in this series, he was looking rough. In their series against LGD, he was really struggling. It's good to see him have this performance when it matters the most.
And this is the play that turned it around. Being gifted a couple of these kills in the early stages, just let Puff go on a rampage. LWX, he's sent to packing. Puff is able to hit that level 2, and these advantages start to accumulate and snowball. You can see him 4-0-5 here at the 19-minute mark, but he was looking so damn clean on this Ashe, and I guarantee you we're going to see this last fight in at the enemy base, where he was just flashing around, dodging everything that was coming out from Gimgoon.
I thought he was getting the Quadra.
I
really
thought
did.
it as well. This was so good from Puff. But the thing was, we saw everyone across the board step up. As Ning fell behind, that's when the laners came alive. Ning forced out of the equation. Rookie overtakes Doomby. The Shy solo kills Gimgoon, and Puff and Baolan are pushing, controlling that bot side of the map, allowing Ning to come back into it. And then Lee Sin things happen for Ning as he's looking damn clean with this pick.
Puff with a beautiful little flash there, and he almost makes the play. That shockwave kind of ruined everything for him. It meant that Doomby could finish off the kill.
Just rude, to be honest. Just rude. I mean,
how
he
dare you
deserved it.
try and win
Yeah,
the series?
yeah.
But it does mean we're now going to Game 5, and you can see the Shy on your screen, and I want to quickly talk about the Shy because, let's be honest, he's had an inconsistent series, but putting him
That's
back...
a nice way of putting it.
Yeah, it's a very political way of saying what's been going on here, but now on the Ornn in that top lane, things have turned around, and can I just say, the Shy is probably the most aggressive Ornn, maybe in the world.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the door and blade start from as well at one point on this.
That was punished very heavily.
It was, but it's still the mindset of the Shy. And honestly, it worked out, especially in a matchup where we think, okay, well, Camille can farm up fine. She's not going to be under too much pressure. Gimgun will get to a late game point where the true damage on his Q just allows him to win out the lane. But instead, it's the Shy who's able to get these advantages for himself. And as we talked about, when Ning was put so far behind, when Tien had the power to start influencing his lanes for the better, it was the Shy and Rookie who stepped up in those solo lanes to actually facilitate Ning being able to get back in because of their dominant lanes.
And you can see the players getting ready on the stage, just doing the ready check to see if they're ready to get in Champ Select. So we're about on the cusp of kicking off game number 5 here, Dagda. So I want to quickly address something. The team that builds an early lead in this series seems to be the team that wins out the game at the end of it. I mean, the pressure that we saw IG putting on here in game number 4, there was nothing FPX could do with this scale and composition. So as we move towards the last draft, Dagda, it feels to me that we need early game champions on each side.
It really does, and I think a lot of this is going to, unfortunately, revolve around that blue side pick, specifically that Ashe. Having a lot of control on that bot side seems to enable so much, particularly towards these early dragons, setting up for a pushing lane on which the jungler can play around. It just feels like, unfortunately, it's going to be FPX who are opting in towards this blue side, which means that Ashe is more than likely going to cross over towards LWX.
So I have a question for you, Dagda. Where is Jhin? We have seen Jhin endlessly this entire tournament, all through playoffs, all through the regionals yesterday. Now we're seeing Senna every single game, and Senna, I'm not going to lie, is not looking good in basically any of these games. Where is the Jhin? Why are we not seeing that as an answer?
Yeah, and actually, that's what I was just checking on my notes here, is that we have actually seen LWX playing a lot of Jhin in solo queue. We haven't seen it so much on the opposite side for Puff, but this is something that they should be able to bring out, but it's not the case. And we even talked about it briefly in game 1. It would have worked perfect as an answer to the Ashe and provide some engage.
It could have, but we've got to get into Champ Select. I've got to cut you off there. We're going to game number 5, ladies and gentlemen. So let me pass it back over to Hysterics and Lyric to see if we get a Jhin for game number 5.
Good questions, lads. Great way to end, or at least lead, into game number 5. FPX have chosen blue, IG on red, and it all comes down to this. To find out who will be versing LGD tomorrow for that 4th seed at Worlds, and who goes home unable to defend their title from the previous or the year before.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see because, honestly, we should definitely favor FPX being able to get back on that blue side.
Yep.
Going back to the Ashe priority that Munchables and Dagda were just talking about. But obviously, IG were able to pick up 1 game on red side so far.
Yeah, and also just addressing Jhin. Note that Puff has been the only person to play. He played it once during the whole split, including playoffs. IG are the only people to play it because it's LWX who's never picked it up.
As Dagda was saying, though, he has been playing it in solo
Yes, he
queue.
has.
But actually, it doesn't matter because guess what? They are on blue side, but bans have already changed.
Yes, they have.
IG banning the Galio on red so far.
And with the Lilia alongside now, normally you have to ban Caitlyn on red side, so you'd assume that would be the
Maybe
final
they make
ban.
the trade.
Oh.
Because obviously Ashe has been seen as one of the answers into the Caitlyn. And they're saying, okay, we'll ban out the 2 mid laners in the Lilia, and we go 1 for 1, and they'll, it'll come down to support counter pick for bot lane difference.
Another change in ban, though. Ning's Lee Sin after game number 4 has been taken away. The Angelic
Every
music
other
rise.
game, it has been the Callista.
Yep.
So that is available for IG as well. We need to remember that FPX also first picked it every game against V5.
There's a lot open. You talked about the trade of Caitlyn
It
being
has to
left
be
open.
Caitlyn. It has to be.
Being left means that you also sacrifice things like the Lux alongside it. What is the choice of IG? Callista, you mentioned. Ashe is still there.
You would think it should be the Ashe. You're right, though, that they could even just take away the Lux early on, pair that with alongside the Ashe, and then have a strong pushing lane.
But it's been jungler before. We saw Ning pick up Graves. Tien did the same in game 4.
It has been Tien's most played champion, so if IG goes for it, and why we've seen Ning continuously go for it, that could be the reason, because it has been the most comfortable champion for Tien. But it also typically does pair quite well in this first round with the Ashe.
Let's see, because the Ashe is the trade-off. Really like that you brought that up. Been a priority in the past. Rookie slapped in game 4 on the Zoe.
This would surprise me for the fact that this is not a champion that DoinB plays.
No. So there's no priority to pick it up, right?
No, there's no reason to take it away this early. But I guess instead, I don't understand why you'd want to counter pick jungle. Quote-unquote counter pick, right?
Because that's what you're assuming you're picking up. The support here, the Lux matchup so it doesn't get banned.
That is
and a jungler.
usually what you see is, the Caitlyn paired alongside the Lux. Of course, in the West, they also use Morgana quite a bit.
True.
Either champion does quite well for sieging down those turrets, taking those plates, and ensuring yourself a strong bot lane matchup. I haven't seen Chris playing either one recently in solo queue, so that could be a sign because, let's be honest, Caitlyn is not left open in the scrims these teams are playing.
Nope.
So I bet neither of them have much experience in these matchups lately.
Well, you got the Thresh there instead. Don't even want to look at the Lux. So a very strong engage on the bottom lane. And this has been a very different draft to what we've already seen with the Volibear alongside jungle.
It is a flex, but we need to remember that for FPX, this is typically a top lane pick.
Yep.
And I even think with the movement speed nerf on Q, it does feel a bit more awkward in the jungle. It feels worse in both roles, obviously, but we do see the Graves coming out for Ning now.
You need a solo lane, you need a support for IG.
And we know where IG's going to go with it because it's always been last pick top, and even more so now, right? When they've already shown the Thresh. So I wonder where IG goes with fourth pick because typically in the LPL, the answers we see into Thresh are Leona Nautilus. It is these tanky, engagey supports that, the Thresh looks for a hook, and then you're able to usually just ignore it, like with the Leona and Zenith Blade to the AD carry and set them behind. That does fit Balance style much more as well.
We are still getting those solo lane bans, though, from FPX. The Jace predominantly has been banned all series long. His favorite champion this split.
By far, and it does so well. You can play it in pretty much any matchup. It's obviously a signature of the Shy pick. It would set them up quite well for a Siege comp. They'd be pretty AD heavy, but it's IG. They don't care about that.
That's true. We're still got to find out what he's playing in that top lane. Callista gets the secondary round of ban.
I just wonder what Dwinby will pick up in this mid lane up against the Zoe. Obviously, he could go back with the Orianna, which sure you lose pressure, but you are at least able to farm up. Typically, when you have a Caitlyn in the bot lane, though, I think securing some mid-jungle prio to be able to heavily play around and influence that bot side is nice. And then you deny the Ashe plays as well.
Yep.
But I don't think Dwinby's champion pool really opens him up to this kind of play.
He has such a wide champion pool, but you're right.
And there's that Leona that we were talking about, right? Picking this tankier engaged champion that if he gets a hook onto your AD carry, you can't just go. Ooh.
Lulu mid.
Yeah.
Lulu mid has just been locked in. 2 AD carries on the composition of FPX.
And Dwinby has played this split.
Yep.
And it's obviously a throwback just for him in his career in general, where he has been much more of a supportive mid laner, having these carry junglers alongside him. But having that Ashe in the bot lane, along with this Lulu to eventually get the Ardent Sensor out, is going to be massive.
And you got an Ornn for the Shy to lock in. So, Lyric, a bit more engaged with the Leona.
This is nice. I like what I see out of both comps, but I really love IG's. IG's is just, stock standard this meta, right? This is what you could see in many, many games. We're gonna have, I would assume, pressure in the mid lane coming out from the Zoe. This isn't a matchup I'm too familiar with. How often do we see Lulu? But obviously from the side of FPX, right, it is about waiting a bit longer into the game. You want to get the Ardent Sensor out. You want to get some of those supportive items to buff up the Caitlyn in the Kindred and then start playing this game for structures. It's all about artillery. It's all about sieging down these turrets.
Artillery I like, especially since FPX have been the slower team that we've talked about. Who is going to Worlds? There's so many questions I have to ask. Again, you said LGD are watching this series, probably laughing. They face the winner of this for the 4th seed at Worlds tomorrow. IG or FPX, one world champion is going home, and IG just had a very convincing Game 4, while FPX, throughout the whole series, have been the better team. But it comes down to a Game 5, it's a best of 1, it's only one chance left remaining. Dwinby opts into Lulu, while Rookie's back on his Zoe.
The big question mark to me is FPX is throwing us a curveball. Anything can happen at this point.
We're about to enter Summoner's Rift for the final game of the night. The final game of this series leads to disaster for one, hope for another. Can IG make the run again, like they did in 2019? It's another Game 5. They love these Game 5s, but it ain't a Vladimir in the top for the Shy. He's on his Ornn once more. The scrapes play, and we enter Summoner's Rift.
One thing we can be sure of this game is that IG want the scrappier brawls early on. They have more CC. They have more early game bursts coming out from things like the Zoe and the Ashe. They want blood. They want fights. They want to take these early Rift Heralds at 8 minutes, try and get these early Dragons as well. For FPX, we said it's a bit of a slower pace game. It's about getting the setup needed in front of these turrets with the Caitlyn traps coming out, with the Lulu shields, with the Ardents, with the Redemptions, Tien getting in there as well. And Crisp really used in a bit of a disengaged capacity.
The Threshers so far in the series have been the better out of the supports. But Baolan on Leona this time around, alongside Puff, who got Ashe. They made a trade-off of 80 carries. And we've got a very compelling draft to finish off. I like it. Very much the team styles. As Tien starting on his blue up towards his top side. Ning will be on the same path as he's on his red.
Thinking about this mid lane matchup, I would assume that Duinbi should be able to do pretty well early on because Zoe's wave clear actually isn't that strong early. Like your Paddle Star does like 20% of even the caster minion's HP.
Sure.
Lulu can always just auto attack you when you walk forward. She's quite strong coming in with the damage she gets from her passive as well.
Score.
You always have your polymorph if you do look for some kind of long range Paddle Star. And just like this.
Yeah.
It feels like you can go toe-to-toe. One of the strongest things about Lulu's kit that's so underrated is the damage coming from her passive. She also obviously has the Airy, so those short trades are really nice for her.
Glitter Lance feels really nice as well. You can attach to a minion and send it through the minion wave.
Yeah, and I mean, even your Glitter Lance does much better into the minion wave early on than something like a Paddle Star, right? You definitely need those levels, especially waiting for that lost chapter for Rookie.
Where we always talk about Rookie. We talk about Zoe, you mentioned it in Game 4, where he has to find those angles between the minions, so he's a lot more limited by what he can trade with.
And the thing is, we saw on the Kernel's graph that it actually favored IG late game. The thing I question is that IG's comp is very burst reliant, right? We have a Zoe, we have a Grace, all about burst. You have a Lulu ultimate, you have a ton of shielding that's going to be increased later on with the item she gets, and you have the Lamb's Respite. You're not going to be bursting out anyone.
And crucially, you actually have a frontline in Gimgoon. Crispy talk about keeping away so that LWX can keep distance, and Duinbi can sit next to him. So it'll be interesting. Of course, the Colonel, just for everyone out there, goes based on statistics of champions winning at stages of the game. You know, he takes the 10 secret herbs and spices of League of Legends and kind of applies them to Summoner's Rift. So we'll see. At the very least, the Shy back on Ornn. He's gone Doran's Shield. I'm sorry, Lyric, it's not the Blade that we're still waiting to see.
I'm just interested in what Balan's doing. So it looks like he was checking Wolves, thinking that potentially Tien had invaded. Tien, of course, did earlier on.
In good timing there, getting scuttled. That was a mark for Tien, who
the collapsing.
He's trying to go over the wall. He flashes immediately. Wants a quick draw. I guess that was the right decision in the end.
Yeah, and he luckily also got the Nimbus Cloak as well, so even if Tien and Gimgoon thought to keep going, he didn't get that bit of movement speed. Obviously, this is going to hurt him a little bit, but Graves not really a champion we think of, you know, flashing in to make these plays in lanes regardless.
Yep.
You have set up in all of your lanes anyway, the Shy, especially once he hits that level 6 point. Bot lane as well wants a few more levels. We see IG's bot lane getting pressured right now because, of course, even early on, right, Thresh is a ranged champion into the Leona. LWX, if he can space properly, can do a lot of work.
Especially when they know Tien has backed and he's heading towards that bottom side too. Also helps out as Rookie just clears the wave and gets the shot.
So IG's bot lane, it is a lot more of like a kill lane to me in the sense that we are waiting for our level 6 combo coming out from Leona plus Ashe, and then trying to combo Ning and Rookie in as well, because when you have Zoe Graves, it is a lot about that mid-jungle.
It does feel around these objectives, though. The chain CC from IG is going to be pretty crucial. Trouble Bubble, chain across the arrow of the Solar Flare you're just mentioning. And the Shy's call the Forge God. There is a lot of layering there, as now they're going to be going on to Rookie. Death Sentence dodged away from Rookie, runs into Brush. The Fog of War helps a little bit. He clears the wave anyway, but he's in a bit of trouble. Might have to flash out of this one, but Tien and Chris are waiting over the wall. Flashes for distance, excuse me. I don't believe that was Duinbi in the end, who's about to pick up First Blood. That goes over to the Lulu mid.
The cheeky thing you always notice with both Rookie and the Shy, though, is when they do have these kinds of depths, they always prioritize getting the wave in to hopefully not leave it in a bad place. That still did take long enough, though, where obviously Duinbi's able to come out and clear this one. But Baolan,
holding it.
He knows who the carry of the team is.
Yeah, Duinbi's still doing a bit of damage, but Baolan may have delayed enough to... Nope, minion wave still going to get denied, goes to the support.
And we're once again seeing the how valuable having this prio in bot lane is,
Yeah.
because it's allowing for Crisp to constantly be in river, constantly be in the enemy jungle, and even hover around the mid lane.
And Balan has the match, right? It's not like he can stay in the wave and try and find something on LWX.
Yeah, and even, like you're saying, he has to, like, try to match.
Yeah.
He will always be there later on, so FPX will always have the onus to make the play.
But a good start from FPX. Ning is going to be starting up this Dragon, though. Tien on the bottom side, but you can see Rookie gets to shove out the wave as he returns to lane, and Ning should be getting a nice bit of experience from this while Tien clears out his Raptors meanwhile.
Ning going for a bit of a cheeky one, but he did know that FPX's bot lane was going for that reset. Rookie also is having the push in mid lane right now.
We're going into an Infernal or a Cloud Rift.
I like that Rookie also, when he died, got the early Doran's ring as well on top of he had already had. So increasing his pushing power just by a little bit.
And that extra bit of health might come in handy too. Now hits level 6 with a portal jump. And what do we think? At level 6, of course, Doomby does have the wild growth available, but Rookie with the extra range now has a lot more burst potential, as that almost hit onto Doomby. Balan's level 4. Their center's dodged away from, turns onto Doomby. Center's played at the ready if Rookie wants to come in, but opts not to. Balan's still just trying to match and make sure that Rookie has a laning phase.
For FPX, you just keep doing what you're doing, right? Have Chris weaving between the lanes because you just want to set up LWX to take this plating.
Arrow for the clans. Puff wants to take this 1v1, but Tien's going to make it unfavorable soon. Puff is still going forward. Tien shows, flashes away out of respect. Here comes the Caitlyn ulti. But LWX in a lot of trouble as the Shy's coming in. Call the Forge God wants to kill LWX. He gets knocked up, flashed on, clapped by Mr. Ornn himself, the Shy, with great timing. And Tien now has to respect him.
That was a big mistake coming in from LWX, though, because, right, the Shy started channeling the TP, and LWX didn't care. He just walked forward, thought, okay, there's nothing the Shy can do.
We're not done, sir. Onto Baolan. Press the attack initiated as Tien going forward. The Shy is still here. Wants that searing charge, but Tien flashes it to get onto Baolan, but the re-engage is there. Wild Growth is onto the jungler as Gimgoon has teleported in, and this is the LPL. With a double kill going to Tien, FPX can feel it in their bones.
Great turn coming from FPX. Tien being a massive playmaker going forward on that one into the Shy. And great job by Gimgoon as well as Chris to zone out Rookie, actually to flash away early on. There was nothing you could do in that play, but Ning's very smart trying to answer on the opposite side of the map. But guess what? Look at your mini-map. Crisp and Tien are on the way over.
Ning has to respect. Gimgoon and Doomby start up the Rift Herald, or at least take the leash from where it was. Baolan still doesn't have his ulti.
I don't think IG can contest.
Still want to walk towards it, at least add some pressure. That reset almost came through, and it does! As I speak, that gives a bit more time for IG to push in mid.
I don't think they knew it happened.
No wards available. Okay, crisis averted. I still think FPX would have been fine at the end of the day. Doomby's going to pick that up. Yep, there we go. So.
And remember, things like that are always interesting because, right, he's not typically going to be the mobile member on the map. Even this game, we've seen it's been all about Crisp and Tien coming mid, not about Doomby getting out of lane and going elsewhere.
Yeah.
So that could really limit where FPX dropped this Herald.
So let's have a look again because the Shy was down here from the TP.
And we see Tien going forward. Actually, nice flash shot from him as well to just guarantee that Balan is going to die. Great play from Doomby and Chris. Chris going forward. Chris and Gimgoon now zoning out Rookie. But just a bit of an overstep coming out from the side of IG, which has been a defining a defining term this series, overstep.
My words were going to be exactly that, sir. I think the biggest part for me now, though, is seeing Warriors on Tiana 2-0 Kindred. And we know what this has led in previous games for FPX. And plus the shielding you mentioned and how FPX will scale into this game, it's already a great start considering that LWX has gotten most of his lane underway. That the Lulu picked up a nice kill earlier on against Rookie as well.
And we pointed out earlier that FPX definitely do much better as this game goes on. For the side of IG, they're really going to have to play off of things like vision denial, being able to get vision that they probably shouldn't have from the Hawk shot, playing off picks coming out from the Sleepy Trouble Bubble and the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. For FPX, they're fine just taking this game at the pace it's being played.
With a gold lead that is just enough for them to feel very confident. 10 minutes in.
This goes back to what we pointed out earlier, right? We wanted to see Ning and Rookie link up, get mid pressure, and then hover towards bot side. They're doing just that, but Crisp and LWX are respecting.
They're backing away from the turret. Puff is going to get a bit of turret plating. That's what this means, though. Rookie comes back into the mid lane, and LWX and Chris can just walk back in. Remember, there's a BF sword here on this Caitlyn with a Thresh that's almost level 6. So now left in 2v2 lane. Doomby trying to move in as well. Tien is down the bottom side, but spotted out on a good control ward by Invictus game.
And they're coming through. Rookie's still here. He could throw a Sleepy Trouble Bubble.
Rookie's got a blasting one, by the way. There's
I
not
know.
a lost chapter. So
I just noticed that as well. I was like, huh. I'm guessing he just didn't have enough gold, but...
Picked up the Doran's ring before, right? Didn't have enough for the lost chapter. Riptail's going to be put bot, though. Tien now wants to hop over the wall. And here we go.
Gimgoon's covering mid as well, so if any shenanigans break out, very easy for Gimgoon to make his way over. But now going to head back up towards top side.
Meanwhile,
3 plays for the Shy's Ord.
he already picked up a kill. He's got his Sunfire cape. FPX might be getting collapsed on here. Rookie decides against it, walks back to his lane.
Do you remember all those games we had of IG winning where, like, their 4-man would just win the game pretty much, but we'd, like, every 5 minutes we'd cut to a camera of the Shy just taking, like, plates or turret on the opposite side of the map?
Happens actually more often than you think. It's kind of like the Shy resets in a best of 5 after the first 3 games. The Shy died at least 20 times.
The Shy this time using that window, so, right, he got to push in because Gimgoon had used his window to roam to the opposite side of the map. Now the Shy answering in kind. He pushed in, he hovered over, made sure IG can safely do this dragon. Now he's going back up the top lane.
Leads to a Cloud Soul here this time around, not the Infernal.
I love the Zoe RNG of, you know, what you get depends on how aggressive you and your enemy laner can play. We saw Doinby respecting, realizing, okay, well, if this guy's Ignite, it's his time.
He just drops it there as well. Good trading, though, from Doomby. He's got his Athenes already picked up. Benefit of the Lulu is very cheap build, much like we see on the Karma. Well, FPX gets spotted out on another control ward. Tien trying to go deep into enemy territory. There's no camps here, but at least safeguards LWX who can push in and get first turret blood and get a bit of gold into that lead for FPX.
And just goes back to highlight how well FPX have been playing, like you pointed out. Balan constantly forced to match the roams from Crisp, so LWX was able to get all his turret plating on his own.
Shy just wants to collapse. Sky Splitter comes in. Shielding's nice, but in the end, the Shy's just going to turn around with Grasp and try and get another couple of procs. Funny that Gimgoon's actually up in levels, as the Shy will now reach level 10. Tank versus tank. And it's going to get influenced by Balan in a second. We're just stuck up here, I guess. Oh, away you go.
I like how he's once again making his way towards that Iceborne Gauntlet.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess most of their damage is AD, but again, I know people will be mauling at him getting that extra mana rather than the extra health you would get from the Abyssal Mask.
True. Would help the Zoe out as well, right?
True.
But FPX now grouping up towards the top side, and this is a rotation we talked about in Game 1, I believe, where now we're just seeing pretty standard stuff, move and change sides of the map.
Yeah, and this is what you do. I mean, you would do it on either of these AD carries, but you see it on Caitlyn, right? You're rotating around the map, as we pointed out. I like to use the word artillery piece.
Yep.
You're kind of set up like a giant machine gun in the middle. Everything's around you. You have the traps surrounding you, and your job is just to go to work on those turrets. You don't really want scrappy fights breaking out. You don't want... You need a lot of vision. You want everything in your sight. You want to know what's going on, and it allows you to do what you do best, which is just breaking down those turrets.
Cleanliness of play, right? And especially since turret plating was still available at the time. Nice bit of damage there from Rookie, but...
Also, I want to point out something we didn't talk about, that we obviously saw LWX go for the lethal tempo, which is something people started doing more of recently because Caitlyn obviously doesn't have an attack speed steroid, which is one of the reasons you don't usually go for it, but you don't have a lot of bad lanes anymore, so you don't need to go towards that fleet footwork, so even just getting a bit more is quite nice.
Also started with the Storm Razors here, so we've seen, you know, pretty much this be the build, right? Not IE first.
We've actually seen quite a bit of IE first.
Have we?
But this does at least give you that nice... like pseudo power spike. Obviously, it's cheaper, but you get much less AD, which I think is why we still see a lot of people go IE first for, you know, more AD for your headshot and things along those lines. But getting that slow is quite nice for setting up some kills in your lane.
Cross arrow used again. Puff, this is the second time around he's doing it, but this time around LWX Essence versus Storm Razor, and LWX gets some nice trades in while the rest of the team's trying to group around this. Tien takes the trouble bubble, uses the ulti preemptively. In comes the burst, end of the line, collateral damage. not used. It was smoke screen in the end, I apologize, but Tien manages to get away. But there you go. There's the burst and pick potential you mentioned earlier on.
IG doing a great job at least understanding their win conditions, and so far they've been the team to pick up a lot of these objectives. They are sitting at 2 Drakes, now taking this Rift Herald.
Objective control at maximum. Ning so far ahead in CS once again on this Graves.
Also, next Dragon's coming up in 1 minute 15 seconds. They can sit on this Herald and just use it, as we talked about, that kind of, what's the word?
Do you want to use plateau? No.
Not plateau.
Transition.
Not transition either.
Transmission.
You don't even know what word I'm looking for.
Breakfast. As a
We didn't have breakfast.
As a cycle, we didn't. We've been here a while, as you know, some of the fans will figure out in another show. But this today has delivered everything, and I have to say, big thank you to all the fans for joining us this season as what's been chaotic. 5 games for the finals, 5 games for IG and FPX. This is literally esports at its peak.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, it is.
You know, screw every other game. This is where it happens.
But hey,
I hope you didn't want to work with anyone else.
we have Dragon coming up in 25 seconds. All of FPX is here to get vision. Nice sleepy trouble
And
bubble.
there's a lot of burst damage to Solar Flare. Enchantress Arrow. This is long range engage. At his peak, Rookie flashes forward. Chris, Death Sentence doesn't connect. The Wild Growth was used, but now Baolan comes into the middle of Gimgoon as he ulti over the wall to escape. Here we go for the Shy, though, who lines them up. 2 is the number. Chris gets low at half health. IG have gotten pressure, and LWX takes one to the face. It takes one to no one as collateral damage used in the end.
Now no Wild Growth, no Lamb's Respite. They can't come in. All of those tools that are used to survive the IG burst are gone. And IG now on Soul Point.
They are on Soul Point. They get 10% cooldown reduction on those ultis like the Shies. And Enchanted Crystal Arrow plus Solar Flare. This is good for IG as they manage to, again, as you mentioned, threaten that window in another 4 minutes, 45 seconds.
And one of the most important parts is getting that early Elder.
Okay, the Shy might be called out, though. I'm going to turn back around and say the Shy, what's going on? He's 1-1. Doesn't want more deaths than kills, but low on mana. Not too low on health. It is an
Hysterics, I thought of the word. Decoy. They could have used it as a decoy for the Dragon, but guess what? They didn't have to. They still have the Rift Herald.
Yes, they do. Ning's going to get the enhance back with it. And which lanes are you going to put it down, sir? You think right down mid? Do we let Shelly run it down?
Probably not. There's no mid lane like inner turret. They would have to go 2 sides, get pressure, group as 4 or 5 to get that pressure in mid, but they actually don't have pushing sides. Like Orange shouldn't really be able to push in Gimgoon, but now Gimgoon's resetting. So I guess it's always viable.
Sorry, Rookie's just throwing out bubbles left and right. It is a Luden's Echo now picked up. It is 2 items for Dualme. Again, cheaper build. Ardent Sensors there. Does have a bit more gold than Rookie. It is good evaluation time because LWX in this Caitlyn has 2 items with a rapid fire cannon. Puff's still sitting on 1, but a lot of gold. He's actually down 1,000 in the 80 carry matchup.
I mean, we saw LWX get all of those plates.
Yes, we did.
So quite expected for him to be up. Shy doing fine in this matchup.
And now we wait for the Baron to come up.
Maybe they're dropping it mid as you expected, Hysterics.
Maybe they are.
Or should I call you Apathetics?
You shouldn't.
Okay.
You should call me Hysterics. I was told if I'm going to do any analysis, I just call myself Hysterics and leave it at that.
Huh.
You know? One day I want to be the coach of like TL
You're
or,
right. Then
or V5.
you want the same name.
Yeah. You know, to coach a team first, I need to coach a Challenger Series team. You know, they're not just going to let me do the big leagues. It's a Shy. Solo kill territory here with the W. The Fury at the ready. Ulti on top. Call the Forge God's going to come in, but Ning's here. Gimgoon too far forward as he flashes away. It's matched by Ning. And the burn is going to be massing the Searing Charge. Gimgoon has had such a good series, now scratches his head.
And he's solo killed the Shy so many times this series. He thought, okay, I'm going to get to do it again for free. Ning was there waiting in the wings. Really clutch, flashes forward, gets the Phase Rush and Nimbus Cloak off as well, so he has all the movement speed to keep up. Gimgoon realized at the last second, okay, I just need to take down the Shy, but was bursted out too quickly.
And that's going to give the Shy more ability to scale into the, you know, the mid-game, get those 3-4 items as the Ornn. Already the Bramble Vest picked up.
Right now, Rookie's at the point of maximum burst.
That
He
too.
has Oblivion Orb, he has the Sorcerer Shoes out. This man is ready to take people down, but we need to remember, FPX have the tools to deal with burst. The
Yes.
thing is, if they get chunked out too early like they did in the last fight, right, having to use the wild growth on Chris, that's kind of the formula for FPX being having to back off early.
Or if they get separated, right? You know, it's that pick onto 1-2 people without the Lulu nearby, without Chris with the disengage.
They are like a ball comp, right?
Yeah.
They all want to like be near each other. It's all in the setup. You are like a 5-man group. You're a family.
You can see as well, Mikhail's picked up the priority for Crisp, I really like, as the first item to help LWX, if that kind of heightens your point. It's all about this Caitlyn, keeping her alive, alongside Tien, of course, as the other AD carry with now Black Cleaver. Rookie's hanging off to the side, sees him, and it's like free money, except it's got a string on the end. You ever see those cartoons? You know, they pull in the $5 note.
Yeah.
People laughing behind the bushes.
All those old cartoons.
Yeah. Hey, Dragon Soul coming up in a minute.
Yes.
This is the real here we go, 21 minutes into the game.
Gimgoon
Very early
doesn't
Soul.
have TP, so I expect him to start walking down. That does look like what he's doing.
Colonel weighing in.
Ooh,
IG.
LWX.
Big crit. All right. Well, Puff's going to heal that up.
The Shy's massive right now, though. I actually don't know.
Check arrow on LWX. Remember, he has a healing. Puff
Puff!
almost dies. Oh, my lord. But meanwhile, Rookie comes in off the side. Gimgoon takes the chunk himself.
I think that should guarantee FPX taking Dragon.
That was actually absolutely massive. FPX might even get the turret on top of that as well. We'll see. Shielding goes out, goes forward as Rookie comes in off the side, wants to kill Doombeat. Crucial is that Zoe gets the pick. And coming back in is the Ash. That's burn damage onto Tien. Call the Forge God's going to line up. It's now Doombeat in a bit of trouble as well. The trouble hits on the side. Rookie gets Tien as Baolan jumps on in. IG's fight. This could be it as the Shy doesn't die. LWX in the middle of nowhere. Doombeat can't shield him. And Rookie does it again. Trouble bubble forward, denies the Dark Passage for a moment, but Doombeat manages to get away. IG are smiling right now as they head towards the Baron.
And IG are going to be able to push this advantage forward. Get back out on the map. They're going to have all the priority. FPX, when it matters most, succumbing to the pressure.
Tien couldn't use his ulti, and now in front of the Baron as Baolan gets low. Teleport's going to be in from the Shire to take this one up. Ning needs to use an early smite. When is he going to burn that down? Thinks he's going to survive, and probably is absolutely right. Smite to secure. IG are getting towards that moment where you say they could have done it.
And this is where it all started. Massive burst coming out from Rookie. Called the Forge got opened by the Shy. Such an amazing sleepy trouble bubble. And he doesn't even get a chance. No Lambs or Spite anywhere. Baolan flashing forward. As we said, this man always goes into the fray. Weird decision by Gimgoon to ult back into the rest of the members by IG.
Yeah.
FPX picked up Dragon. They prevented Soul, but I don't think IG cares.
Imagine if we got to the Lamb's Respite for Tien. Then FPX might have survived. Could have been a different story, right? That one pick changes everything. Baron now picked up, and Invictus Gaming, after looking pretty shocking between games 1 and 3, have really picked up the series and may have made the impossible a reality.
We stopped believing.
We did.
I told you, we stopped believing Asterix, and that's all we had to do this whole time. But IG, man, how could IG have one of the worst series we've seen and still get back in this and potentially go to Worlds?
Isn't it crazy?
How could the Shy go 1-10 on AD Kennen
And
then win and go to the next round?
The trick is to start playing on. Don't put him on that anymore as Rookie gets burnt down over the wall. They're going to take the engage. Smoke screen is good to deter, though. Strong bubble lands, but IG can't follow up. With the Baron buff, they're leaving the Shy by himself, forcing FPX to rotate through their jungle that's warded.
Like game 1, we pointed out
Arrow.
they need to commit to one side. The problem is this time, FPX don't really have engage.
Yeah.
They have Death Sentence and they have Gimgoon ulting in if IG walk too far forward.
But is that going to happen? Trouble blocked by minion wave.
Another thing we need to remember, Siege comps suck when they're behind.
Yes.
You're not able to get in front of the turrets, dish all that damage you need. You're quite squishy. It's very easy to dive onto you.
Especially against the burst here, right? When the burst gets a level up, when they're so far ahead. It's hard to deal with. Call the Forge God was used in the bottom lane. Mid turret goes down meanwhile, and FPX, they use any summons? I don't think so. Ace in the hole. Blocked nicely by Nick.
And IG just going to be able to keep going. They wait for the wave. They're going to pick up this bottom tier 2 turret. They should have a wave that's about to come mid if they want to keep going, but it looks like resets are coming out now.
Do you think you need to apologize for saying the word suck on broadcast? It's a very naughty word. Just saying.
No, I feel like that was the least offensive word said today.
That's very true. Maybe I'll apologize for what I said in game number 3. No, game number 4 it was. There's my apology. Hey, Thornmail's picked up. This is,
He did this last game as well.
Oh, wait. Enchanted Arrow, though. Drop bubble lands on the Chris. Cleanses the way. Battleland in for the engage. Flayed away. The Shy comes in. Searing Charge goes wide. Right through the middle as Rookie can't connect the Paddle Star. The Wild Growth was used, though, Lyric. That's what I saw.
Dragon not up for another 2 minutes. Oh, my God. He just keeps going. Every time I see a bubble fly out, I'm expecting it now.
And FPX have to go all the way back to in front of their base, while IG keeps searching for those picks.
And this is where their comp thrives. They're controlling vision in the enemy jungle. They're, using this terrain scaling that Zoe has to throw out these sleepy trouble bubbles, just setting up to find that perfect pick, bleeding out the enemy team by taking all their jungle camp. So Tien's not getting many resources.
Yep.
He's not able to buy the items he needs. As Puff is not given any resources by his team either, and has to walk across the map to take Raptors.
I just love the fact that we're facing down the barrel of FPX. There's a chance. Remember, if they lose this game, they will not defend their Worlds title. They will not be going to Worlds in 2020 if they lose this game. And IG with a 4K gold lead at 27 minutes is indicating that that could be as such.
Like, this was obviously not the most high-quality series. We don't need to point that out. But FPX fared much better than most people thought they would.
Yes.
Gimgoon played much better this series than I think anyone expected. Again, he was looking miserable in the split. And, again, the fact that this got to 5 games, I'd say is pretty commendable for FPX. Though it's not over yet, so I don't want to talk like they're dead and out of the water. They have this Caitlyn. They have this Kindred as well.
The shielding, you talked about protection and how FPX would scale into this, even against the Ornn, the Zoe, the Ashe, what we talked about with IG.
One fight is all they need.
To go and have a chance at defending their title. LGD watching this one for the potential 4-state trouble bubble lands.
Oh my God, he doesn't miss.
Rookie does not miss. You're exactly right. Puff sitting mid for the Enchanted Crystal Arrow and the opportunity.
Do you believe in magic hysterics?
I do. Do you want to show me something? Because in 25 seconds, if IG lose this dragon, I have to say that's going to be magical for maybe not Enchanted Crystal Arrow onto Chris. Oh, Zenith Blade doesn't connect though. Saved. That is a key engage tool for IG down.
That was unlucky because if Puff, like, the bubble was going to zone off Caitlyn into that direction anyway. Had Puff been able to, like, read that better, it feels like that definitely could have been a dead LWX, but still they're able to force him back. They're going to get this Drake. Now we're just waiting on Elder.
Okay, Soul in hand. At the very least, for someone like Ning, that's great. Let me think across the board. You know, the Shy as well, just to run at someone. But Elder in 5 minutes.
Look, I know I gave the FPX protagonist story a couple games ago, but the best story would be IG meeting top esports in World Finals. We know that would be the best.
Yeah.
Jackie Love against the rest of IG once again.
Puff says I'm
We
better.
didn't get that in playoffs.
No, we didn't actually. We got it in spring, but it wasn't as heated back then.
We got it in summer in the regular split where IG actually beat top esports.
Yeah. One of the second loss, I think, after V5.
Yes. Give me the storylines. Give me the narratives.
It's a shame we don't have 5 seeds like we deserve. You know, maybe we'd have.
I think people are going to be arguing against 4 seeds after watching this series, my friend.
That's actually true.
Hey, but tomorrow might look better.
Maybe, you know, maybe LGD just blow whoever wins this out of the water. Imagine 5 seeds at World. I mean, it's just crazy enough that one of these teams could be in play-ins. Old Tien's walking around, but no, they want the 80 carry. He cleanses away. He takes a Dark Passage. That is a summoner spell just for a Trouble Bubble with Baron up.
And they have such a great turn from Baron, so they can start this, just bait FPX in. They have the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Leona's whole kit is amazing. They have the Call of the Forge God as well.
And Rookie has a hose. He's zoning them away. Gimgoon's in first. FPX need the steal here. Otherwise, IG are just going to take this away. Baron gets smited down now for the engaging. Enchanted Crystal Arrow is there. The Death Sentence doesn't connect as Gimgoon's the target. Runs away for his life. He's low. He's ignited. He's dropping down. Tien's ulti comes out though while IG channel into this moment. It's all theirs. Balan, Rookie, they all live as Chris gets autoed. Invictus Gaming somehow have done it.
How do IG keep stealing away these series and winning these regional matches?
Regional finals are their speciality, Lyric. 1-2 minions with Rookie TPing in with the Baron buff and those death timers, you know where they're heading.
Yep, they're going straight for the Nexus. They're going straight to LGD tomorrow.
To make that impossible run when everyone counted Invictus Gaming out, they showed up in a Game 5. LGD, are you watching? The regional qualifiers are Invictus Gaming's speciality. Goodbye, FPX. The 2018 World Champions are coming next.
That series was so stressful to watch. That series was also so amazing to watch, so full of bloody, so full of different League of Legends. Great, massive congratulations over to IG for making it through. It is quite sad for FPX though, because we saw in the first 2 games, their prep was legit.
Yes.
But sadly, IG got more time, IG were able to figure it out. And in the end, I feel like FPX needed to kick themselves for last game, where TN went for that invade level 1 and pretty much ruined the whole game.
The 2019 World Champions will not be at Worlds to defend their title. And that is heartbreaking for the FunPlus Phoenix fan base.
The best dancer in the world will not make it back to Worlds. And again, this team placed 3rd in Spring. They had an admirable year. They tried to incorporate Khan. It didn't work out. But sadly now, FPX are looking at 2021.
You could see Crisp and Doomby walking off stage. They were devastated, as they should be. But IG, somehow they do it. And what did we say, Lyric? Would you like to quote it again as we look at the gold graph?
When you don't believe in IG, IG win. Is that what you want me to quote?
Yes, it is. Thank you so much. A perfect way to caption it. 30-minute game. The gold graph swung.
No, the damage graph is what gets me because
That's true.
It's so telling. The IG story. You get to Game 5 when Rookie puts the game on his back. The sleepy trouble bubbles, man. The sleepy trouble bubbles.
It was sick. Don't give Rookie Zoe.
Yeah,
There's a lot of champions who say not to give him.
Don't give him Syndra,
Yes.
Zoe, LeBlanc,
Even Oriana goes up there.
Lucian.
But this is why I went on Champ Select and I said, look at Rookie. Because Rookie through lane was up pretty much every game and dominating the phase, plus dominating the mid game.
There's 2 clear standouts in the... Okay, there's actually a lot of clear standouts, but I'd say the 2 standouts on top of all the other standouts are Knight and Rookie. And I mean,
Yeah.
Rookie showing in this series once again that no matter how poorly his team does around him, this man can make do with anything.
Well, IG have somehow got a second chance and can now play for the 4th seed versus LGD.
Hey, I have a question for everyone. Who's ready for 5 games tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because regional qualifier, once again, a shout out to what we were saying in that 5th game was IG in 2019, JDG in the first round, they beat 3-2. Top Esports in the second round to qualify for 3rd seed at Worlds, our last spot, 3-2. Got to Game 5, the Shy brought out Vladimir. Now, the Shy, who had a horrible start of the series, all it took was a mental reset of playing on.
I just wonder if Coach Chris walked up to, because I apparently hear Coach Chris was like really good at helping players like reset their mentality. Walks up, sits him down, gives him a nice slap on the face, and tells him, it's time, boy.
That's worse than Cobra pulling out the bell, the slap on the face.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man.
I told you last time, get the bag of oranges,
Is he coaching RNG?
Well, maybe. In future, perhaps. I at least think, the Shy had a mental reset.
What happens when Orange banned? Maokai?
Well,
Poppy?
But remember, they banned Jace, Kalista the whole series. In games 2 and 3, he had 4 top lane bans.
That's true.
I mean, though the Shy played horribly in the first part, he does demand a lot of bans.
A lot. Like all of them,
to make
actually.
him look bad, yeah.
So, I mean, let's highlight Rookie, Ning, and I'd even say Baolan on champions that weren't Nautilus.
Yes.
They really stepped up. The Shy did his job, and Puff had some good games.
The Shy game 4 and 5. Great. Game 4 especially. 3-man knockups, whatever. Just something.
He absorbed pressure.
He absorbed pressure. There we go. But, Baolan and Puff, it's good to see Puff flashing forward
I agree.
aggressively. Seeing that aggressive type Jackie Love-esque play.
But still, today's games were off the backs of Ning and Rookie especially. Yes. And if they're going up against LGD tomorrow, when we highlight people like Peanut and Shie as their 2 core members, that is what's going to be so fundamentally important, is Rookie and Ning stepping up and performing well once again.
Why'd you get to Worlds? IG make it to Worlds.
Hey, now I didn't want to say it earlier, but I'll say it now.
Go.
You know, I did predict IG to win Worlds.
You did, didn't you? The 4th seed. It's just crazy. And now I'm conflicted because I want IG and LGD both to go to Worlds. I said LGD were going to win Worlds because I believed originally. And, you know, I'm not afraid to put that out. I was wrong. Listening to me is often a mistake.
IG are doing it.
But
They'll ramp up. They'll get better and better.
Either way, I don't think anyone can lose tomorrow. We're either going to have an old organization going to LPL or we're going to have